Great atmosphere at the MCG. St Kilda will just fall a little short. And the Pies with their first win of the season.
A great night here at the MCG. 82,000 people, but this is a great footy club, Jason Dunstall and Lee Matthews. And look at the emotion down there on the bench. Craig McRae coaching in his 100th game. They've had a fantastic victory.
Still so much experience in the team. They've got some good young players that they're starting to get into the mix, but the right decisions made at the right time. One of the things that sticks out for me is you look at the kicking efficiency, 73% to 63%. Now, some of that's execution, some of it's decision making. But when you've got the right players with the ball in their hands, hitting targets, kicking to the right areas, it makes such a big difference.
What about the Daicos? Nick's had 41 disposals and his brother Josh has had 36. It's 77 between the brothers. Even they haven't. I don't know whether they've got that high before.
Well, they had 60 between them against them last year.
They've
upped the ante on that.
The ante again. Amazing.
There's a bit to think about and talk about, isn't there, with this performance by St Kilda? But he is all smiles. Craig McRae. They were written off last year. Remember their opening round last year? They were cramping up badly, overrun by the Giants. And then, as we headed towards finals, they were leading all comers in the competition, ultimately making and falling just short in the preliminary final to the all-conquering Brisbane Lions. But without Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe, as we head down to Cameron Mooney, and he's found a youngster just 38 years of age.
A young man down here, Scotty. What a fantastic win for the club. I mean, the boys are just talking about some of the experienced players that you've had out to come out here against the club. That was the talk of the town over the summer. The talk was maybe you guys weren't there, but you showed them.
Yeah, it almost felt like a little bit of a trap game, to be honest, because, yeah, all the talk was about St Kilda and their off-season. And, yeah, so for us, we just wanted to turn up and do what we do well and try and put some speed on the game at the right times. And, you know, but they're a really good side. They defend really well. Any side that's got Ross Lyon at the helm, you know, they defend really well. So we had to be smart as well going forward. So, yeah, there was a bit in that one tactically, but glad to walk away with the win.
We spoke to Fly at the start of the game, and he spoke about bringing you on late in quarters because of the five on the bench now. Is this something that we're going to see more of, or is it just something that happened today and worked really well?
Yeah, I spoke to Fly during the week about it, and yeah, I think with five on the bench, you know, if you rotate everyone, everyone's going to end up on 60% game time, then everyone will be in the coach's office saying they didn't play long enough on the weekend. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how every side uses that extra man on the bench that they've got. And tonight, you know, our plan was to, especially in the first half, bring me on late in the quarters. And, yeah, you always back what the coaches want to do.
Do you feel like that's a plan that's great for you? With obviously your experience, you're the most experienced player going out here at the moment, and you will be of all time soon. So do you think that is a role that just suits you so well?
Well, I don't know if I'm a great burst player with my leg speed, but look, any role that Fly wants and the coaches want for our team, and it's about, you know, us trying to win. So if that's me having to do that, I'll do whatever it takes.
The basketball side came in tonight, mate, just the assist king, John Stockton tonight they're calling you. 5 goal assists, not bad.
Yeah, well, laughing about it, because I don't think I did 1 minute in the forward half all pre-season, did a 10-1 of Goldie's meeting, so I might have to go to one this week. So
what does this mean for the group, with obviously a couple of experienced guys down back out? What does this mean for this group to start the season?
Yeah, well, every club talks about it, but you need a list of about 35 that are going to get you there. So, you know, we had 2 people that weren't there, but it's not really about those guys. It's about how we play as a system, and I thought our backs held up really well. You know, I felt like St Kilda had a lot of repeat entries, but we held up pretty well, and, yeah, glad to walk away with the points.
You keep playing this role, you've got another 50 in you, brother.
Yeah, he'll never stop, really. He still managed 26 disposals in the game, and the impact he had. I'm not sure how big a fan Matty is of the role. As he said, he's going to do anything for the coach.
Well, but it's also just worth thinking about those that are sitting at home watching and have to go to work in the next couple of days. 20 years in one job is a long time. 21 years as an elite AFL footballer. It's something else.
Yeah, it is, but pretty well rewarded for it. There's lots of motivation, I'm sure, but he still loves the game, clearly, doesn't he? And that's
For sure.
And he can still play. So, and why not? Why not keep going? He ended up having 65-minute game time. And the other story, I guess, of the night, apart from Nick Daicos to the battle with Nasiah, which, as you can see there, Nick clearly won, was how were they going to stop Nasiah? And Harry Perryman had that job for quite a bit of the night moons.
Yeah, Harry, we're just talking about the job you did on Nasiah. That was an incredible job by yourself. I mean, talk about when did you know you were playing on him and how'd that work out during the week?
They didn't give me much notice, to be honest. They told me maybe on Friday that I'd get the job. So
Did you get to sleep that night?
yeah, it wasn't too bad. I don't mind doing that role. Like, it's a good opportunity for me to get in the midfield and run around and, yeah, just do what's best for the team.
So when you're having a look at his game from Friday onwards, what are you looking at and say, OK, what do I need to stop?
He loves getting you on the outside, so I knew if I could just keep him in the contest and yeah, push him into the contest and yeah, beat him on the outside. And I knew he'd play a few tricks, go forward, go back. I can just follow him around, so it was good.
You got a bit frustrated. Was it a little bit narky there for a little bit?
Yeah, a bit of lip never hurt anyone, so it was good fun.
Mate, tell me, what does this mean for this group? I was talking to Pendles about, obviously you've got some big guys down back who are out through injury. St Kilda were talk of the town, obviously what they've done over the summer. Were you guys ready for this or not? And you proved that you were.
Yeah, 100%. We knew they were going to be up for the fight. They've recruited well over the off-season, but we've got so much belief inside our four walls, and a few of our old boys are just humming still, and got some young boys coming through, which is awesome. So everyone has played their role.
Nice that the old, just talking to Pendles, nice the old boys just going all right?
The old boys are going well, mate. They're going real good.
What about the young boys and the Daicos boys? Jeez.
Yeah, don't they go all right too, eh?
Hey, mate, Riverina would be proud, brother. Well done, mate.
Harry Perryman, I don't think he's ever had a sleepless night. He's a very relaxed country kid.
But obviously means a lot to this football club. Talk in the off-season of an ageing list, and they're a club that continually deliver grandstand matches, big matches,
Well, they are
high-ticket matches.
They're so used to it, aren't they? And you can see it's going to be a huge game. It always is a great fixture here at the MCG against the Adelaide Crows. And remember what happened late last year in that regard over in Adelaide. Then the bye, and then a match against the Giants. So there's a bit to prove there. And then the Lions, who, of course, as we said, ended their campaign last year. So a huge month ahead for the Magpies, but they have started the season off in the most positive fashion with a 12-point win over St Kilda, Sarah Jones. And I think we can look forward to plenty more of these fixtures on a Sunday night to start the season.
An incredible night here at the MCG. 82,528 people. St Kilda's highest ever home crowd, but unfortunately for Saints fans, the Pies were just far more composed, far more organised. And Jason Dunsell, Lee Matthews and Nathan Buckley, they continued to show that class. The classiest players just stood up when it counted.
They know how to win games of football, the Pies. They've got experience. There are some good kids coming into the mix, but the experienced players just make the right decisions at the right times. They didn't panic. They controlled the footy when they had it. They handled the ball cleanly, which they needed to do, and conversely, you look at the Saints, they panicked at times, they fumbled, they missed targets, and they shot themselves in the foot time and time again.
There's only a couple of scoring shots, so there's not a whole lot in it, 12 points. But I think the experienced players for Collingwood probably were able to, even under fatigue, think their way through the game much better than even some of the younger teammates, let alone the St Kilda players.
Yeah, they had to defend 23 more inside 50s than St Kilda did. So that's a testament to what they were able to do to get back to support their back six. And it might be a question mark for St Kilda. They might go away with this and go, OK, how do we make more of those entries? We need to be able to connect a bit better, but you have to give Collingwood credit. They defended the field position, but then they started defending with ball in hand. They had 140 uncontested marks in the end. They just took it away from St Kilda. Didn't allow them to be able to get speed on the ball right when they needed it most, which was towards the end of the game.
And Bucks are able to do it without their two best defenders, the Pies, of course, Jeremy Howe and Darcy Moore, both on the sidelines. So to be able to hold up was fantastic. As we have a look at the song.
See the Americans shouting, fans of Americans shouting.
Nick Daicos there leading the team in the absence of Darcy Moore, and what a game he had. Right from the first bounce or the first ball up, Jace, he was sensational. 41 disposals, 844 metres gained, 4 clearances. His class, some of the kicks he executed tonight was sublime.
He just continues to post scary numbers. His decision-making, his execution, it's a combination of everything. And I love that they try to get it in his hands as often as possible because he makes such good decisions. He's a really good user of the ball. And if he doesn't see what he wants, he'll run and carry. He'll buy himself some time, and then he'll find the right option. And his ability to be involved 1, 2, 3 times in a passage shows his the hard running capacity that he has. He's just a superstar of the game and so much fun to watch on a weekly basis.
Well, he would have been stung. In the first round last year, he had that cramping situation against the Giants. I'm pretty sure he would have had that on his mind through the whole pre-season. Everyone was spent in that last 5 or 10 minutes, but no one was working harder than Nick to be able to do what he needed to do for his team, to be able to win the ball, distribute it, move it around, make it difficult for St Kilda. So very strong first up performance.
I reckon it might have been even his back of the mind that the fact that the public eye as Daicos versus Wanganeen Malira, he may have had absolutely no idea of that kind of build-up, or just maybe he said, well, I'll show them who's the best player at this point in time.
He's a pretty competitive guy, isn't he, Nathan Buckley? You would expect that, you know, he's very aware of his position in the AFL community. I think he just always wants to perform at his best, and tonight we saw that.
Yeah, look, I think most of the motivation is intrinsic. Yeah, it's about him finding out how good he can be, but there's no doubt, I think when you get to the upper echelons, you are looking at your
deep down in the back of his psyche, not in the front of his psyche, but deep down in the back of it all. Yeah.
Well, let's ask the man himself, because Nick Daicos joins us from the triumphant Collingwood rooms. Nick, we're just talking at the moment about where you get your motivation to continue to hit these high levels. Are you competitive with the other great players in the game, or are you just finding an internal battle with yourself to be the best player you can? Nick's not there, Jace. You can guess what he might say.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Sarah. I tried hard today, did a few of the right things. Nah, look, this guy is as entertaining as anyone there is in the game to watch, and I just enjoy watching. And we all sat pre-game and spoke about Wanganeen Miller versus Daicos, and to a person we all said, well, this guy does it. He's been doing it for years, and he does it every single week, and he just continues to do it. And he showed us again tonight, so I don't know why we bother comparing him with anyone. He's nearly incomparable.
Running capacity.
He does.
I mean, his ball skills and his decision-making is great, but the amount of ground that he covers at high speed, I'd love to see his GPS numbers compared to other players. Because, geez, they must be massive, that high-speed running.
But at the other end of the spectrum, you've got Scott Pendlebury, who is an absolute star of the competition, but 55% game time in the end. 5 goal assists, and he came in that last 15 minutes, or 20 minutes nearly, and started controlling I suppose the Pies ball movement, but also what they needed to do at key times in the contest to be able to get the job done.
And we can say that Scotty Pendlebury doesn't have a lot of high-end speed like Nick Daicos, but he doesn't need it because he reads the play so well. He buys time when he does get the footy, and he just makes great decisions. And I love the way in that last quarter, Bucks, you don't have to wait for the last 5 minutes. If the opposition allows you to possess the ball and chip it around, why not take those options when you're in front and just slow the game down and take time off the clock?
Well, the Pies have been doing this for quite a while. It's not a new part of their system, and we've seen them in last quarters early in Craig McRae's coaching tenure when they were coming back from behind and their last quarter surges. It was based on owning field position, owning possession, and forcing the opposition back six in the defensive structure into positions that they couldn't defend. I mean, the number of times they went long into the pocket in front of the MCC and just locked the ball in there, and it made it almost impossible for St Kilda to get it out. They just grind away.
Did you think St Kilda actually protected their back 50 too much in that last 5 minutes? They seem to be really getting back into their back 50, which means they couldn't turn the ball over upfield.